was only a boy. I barely remember him.
Hey kid, want to go on a magical adventure?
Gee golly, mister. I can't be out so late, but I'm kind of hurt right now. You think you could take me home?
Do you like candy?
You sure, mister? I love candy. Let's go! Hey, mister, you promised me candy. Where's the candy?
Look man, I ain't got no candy, but I can teach you about the human body. Come in my trap house quick, kid. I'll show you what's up.
Ow, this really hurts. Ow.
Son, that's your gluteus maximus. Everyone knows that.
And this too.
That's
Ow.
your deltoid.
This all looks really sus. So I think I'm gonna go now. See ya, mister.
Son, you're not going anywhere.
No! The door is closing! I gotta get to it! Ow! Ow!
Let's here for as long as it takes for you to learn about the muscular system.
That'll take forever! I have a D in HAP. That pig practical screwed my grade over.
He was gone for 3 years. I honestly couldn't think of where he went. He doesn't have any friends I can think of.
Hey man, welcome to my humble abode.
So, mister, what are some of the functions of the muscular system?
Kid, that's so easy. Body movement, posture, respiration, body heat, communication, constriction, and heartbeat. So what do you think?
Well, this is a really comfy chair. Where'd you get it? This can't be Walmart. It's gotta be Target, man.
Not that, you twat. About today's lesson.
But I don't understand. How many types of muscles are there? And what they do?
There are 3 types of muscles. Smooth, skeletal, and cardiac. You see my car? You see my house? That's because I went to Harvard, PhD in bicep studies. And you're going to remember the 3 types of muscles by CSS. When you apply to college in 15 years, you're going to apply for financial aid, CSS. You're going to remember cardiac, smooth, skeletal, CSS. First we start with cardiac muscle, only in the heart, involuntary. Smooth muscle, on the walls of organs and blood vessels, also involuntary. Skeletal muscles, last one, attached to tendons and bones. This one is voluntary. Hey yo, are you paying attention?
Yeah!
Ooh. Ah!
Ooh,
I'm shaking my head. You can't even lift. Now would be a perfect time to learn about contraction. Kid, you are about to experience a mental orgasm. Mind-boggling information.
I don't understand what muscle cells are made of. Can you explain it to me?
The basic structural and functional unit of a muscle cell is the sarcomere, which consists of thin filaments of the protein actin and thicker filaments of the protein myosin. The repetition of sarcomeres within the muscle fiber give the muscle its characteristic striated pattern.
Well then, what's actin?
Quit acting like a fool. Calcium ions are stored inside muscle cells. The calcium ions are released from storage when a muscle cell gets a signal to induce contraction, which initiates the movement of the contractile proteins within muscles. When calcium concentrations fall, muscle contractions stop. Troponin and tropomyosin are 2 proteins that are part of the actin filament. Although they do not directly participate in contractions, they help to regulate.
Well, what energy sources are there available for this muscle contraction to even happen?
Requires significant amounts of energy. Like most cells, muscle cells use ATP as the energy source. In the presence of calcium ions, myosin acts as an enzyme, splitting ATP into ADP, and inorganic phosphate and releasing energy to do work. Muscle cells store only enough ATP for about 10 seconds worth of activity. Once this is used up, the cells must produce more ATP from other energy sources, including creatine phosphate, glycogen, glucose, and fatty acids. The 4 key steps of muscle contraction are: 1. A skeletal muscle must be activated by a nerve, which releases a neurotransmitting chemical known as acetylcholine. 2. Nerve activation increases the concentration of calcium in the vicinity of actin and myosin, the contractile proteins. 3. The presence of calcium permits muscle contraction. And 4. When a muscle cell is no longer stimulated by a nerve,
contraction
Actin
ends.
molecules are found in thin filaments, while myosin molecules are found in thick filaments. Oh my god, that's right. Synergistic muscles are groups of muscles that work together to cause the same movement. Muscles that oppose each other are called antagonistic muscles. Antagonistic muscles must oppose the action of an agonist muscle so that the movement can occur. For example, when the biceps brachii on the front of the upper arm contracts and shortens, agonist, the triceps brachii must relax and lengthen, and antagonist, so that the arm can flex.
This is a bicep curl. And from what I just learned, I can tell you that this muscle, the bicep, is the synergist, and this muscle, the tricep, is the antagonist.
Skeleton is a complex set of levers that can be pulled in many different directions by contracting or relaxing skeletal muscles. Most muscles extend from one bone to another and cross at least one joint. One end of a skeletal muscle, the origin, attaches to a bone that remains relatively stationary when the muscle contracts. The other end of the muscle, the insertion, attaches to another bone that will undergo the greatest movement when the muscle contracts. When a muscle contracts, its insertion is pulled toward its origin. The origin is generally closer to the midline of the body, and the insertion is further away.
When the bicep contracts, the insertion is pulled towards the origin, and therefore the forearm contracts at the elbow. Tendons are bundles of white fibrous connective tissue that attach a muscle to a bone. They are similar to ligaments that attach bone to bone.
Is all the muscle cells, approximately 1,500 muscle fibers of skeletal muscle, that are controlled by a single motor neuron. Each skeletal muscle fiber connects to an axon from a nerve cell called a motor neuron. The connection between the motor neuron and muscle fiber is called a neuromuscular junction. When we think of America's favorite exercise, the bench press, three muscles in particular come to mind: the serratus anterior, the coracobrachialis, and the pectoralis major. Just look at him go. When we think of America's least favorite exercise, the squat, three muscles come to mind again: the gluteus maximus, the quadriceps, and the hamstrings.
He's asleep. It's my time to go.